Just tell me just for live.
You're live.
All right, looks like we're live now. We're on number 5, so we'll continue on. No, just joking. We weren't live there for a while. I think we were, and then went off. So hopefully we're up and running, and you can hear us all. As we explained, of course, this is our second live webcast. We're going to try to explain and clarify some of the items that went out in the newsletter. That seems to be the topics that we're going to be talking about this evening. There are 11 different ones that went out in our webcast agenda. So any of you that had a email address that you gave us, certainly those should be there and you should be able to access. The other thing is some of you, we did get back that your email address wasn't accurate, so you're probably not going to be here with us tonight because of that. But if you know some other people out there, you might want to mention to them that to do these sort of things, they're going to need to get us an accurate email address. Having said that, as we go through, if you have any questions, there'll be a chat box. You can type in your questions and we'll go back through those as the webcast goes on. We might stop and do some as we go, or maybe at the very end, depending on how many come in. We'll be vetting those just a little bit to make sure if there's repetitive questions that we don't ask them over and over again. So again, this is all for you. It's a way for us to reach you and to go over some of the issues. I've got some of the board members here with me this evening. A few of them weren't able to make it, so here tonight is Kathy Hayden, Diane Murray, and Brian Flingy and myself. So you have 4 of the members, or the other 3 weren't able to make it this evening for a number of reasons. First of all, then we're going to talk about the item 1 on the ballot, on the agenda, which is the ballots. The only reason I'm bringing that up is because I think you realized when you read through there that we didn't have enough votes to make any kind of changes at all. Our big thing in the board is to try to make sure that we can start making changes to some of these old restrictions that were put together years ago. I think what we're looking to do is very possibly making that only 1 or 2 changes at a time. Maybe we overdid that by putting the 7 ballots out there. So in the future, we're going to try to minimize that and maybe just address a couple of them. Try to get that information out to you much sooner and make it clearer. And if you have any questions on it, then maybe we can take off from there. So having said that, that's really all I have to say on the ballot. You guys have anything else to interject? No, good. All right, next, the boat dock construction, that's starting. We dropped the lake on November 2nd, so it's going down, but the people from Krantz Docks are out there constructing the new boat slips, the boat docks that we're going to have. Our hope is to get 28 of those put in. Right now, if we wouldn't have a restraining order on the boat slip over Tanglewood Trails, we'd be done next week. But it appears like, and I was just in court yesterday on this, there's going to be a delay on that because there's a lot of owners that have some issue with the one at Tanglewood Trails. So I don't want to go into too much of a court proceeding, and I have to wait for the judge to make a decision. His decision should be coming in on November 22nd, that Monday. And from there, we'll see exactly where we're going with it. It's been kind of a long, drawn-out affair, so hopefully we can get that resolved here very, very soon. The other thing I wanted to mention about the boat docks is the slips. The board has now determined what our pricing will be for those because we have different size boat slips. All the new ones that are going in out there are 24-footers to accommodate the 24-foot boats. And so I'm going to go through that procedure just a little bit. What we've determined is that whenever the new ones are built, anyone that has a 24-foot boat that currently is leasing out there, they have the first option to move into the new 24-foot slips. Then we will take it out to the other people that are on the list to try to fill in the other 24-foot slips. But again, we're not going to give away so many that people that are currently there will lose their slip. They will not. All right? Then after that, we will fill in the rest of the slips. The pricing will change. The new 24-foot covered slips will be $850 annually. A 24-foot uncovered will be $750 annually. A 20-foot slip will be $750 if it's covered and $650 if it's uncovered. And the other smaller slips will be $650 for covered and $550 for uncovered. So kind of placing it out there for you. If you currently have a 24-foot boat and you want to move, we will go through every one of the applications that went in last year, the contracts, and we'll determine who you are, and we'll contact you to see whether or not you are interested in the larger slips. Now, no question, the ones at the restaurant area will be constructed and be ready to go. The other ones at Tanglewood will be ready to go if the restraining order goes our way, and they'll be ready for the spring. If not, we won't be able to construct them at this time. So hopefully we can get all of this resolved. Just give us some time and see what's going to happen. We'll keep you updated as it goes and let you know what's happening. Next is the UTV golf cart and boat stickers. Again, we did some research. One of our board members did a lot of research on how other lake developments do this, because there's an issue, it seems like, with people not putting them on, whether or not it's a guest boat or golf cart, UTV, whatever. So here's what we've come up with the research that we've had, and this is obviously in the newsletter, but just to kind of explain it to you a little bit better, or at least let you know where we're coming from. The assessments went out this week, actually went out today, and in there is going to be your boat sticker application form. What it basically does is it tells you what we're looking for as far as boat stickers for 2022. What you'll do is you will go out to one of the stores, retail establishment, and you'll purchase 3-inch letters or numbers that actually depict your lot. So for example, if I'm in Tanglewood Trails and my lot number is 10, I will go out and buy 3-inch letters that say TT10, all right? If I'm in Mini Farms, it'll be MF205, if that's your number. If I'm in the other complex and I'm in Plat 1, Lot 74, it'd be number 1074. So those are what you would purchase, the 3-inch letters, and those will get placed on the driver's side of the boat, somewhere above the water line so they can be seen, all right? That may be your windshield, it may be somewhere else on that side, but it will be on the right side of the boat. When we call it the right side, that's the starboard. So when you're sitting in your boat looking forward like you're driving, the right side is obviously, that's what we're talking about, where your right arm would be right there. So anyway, that's what would be. Then after that occurs and you get those numbers, then when you come in with your boat sticker application, we're going to be giving you a year number, number 22. And that'll be placed behind your number on your boat. So in the case of what I said, Plat 1, Lot 74, it'll be 1074, and then you'll get a 22 to be put behind that. Each year thereafter, you'll be getting a 23, a 24, you get the idea. That's how that's going to be taken care of. Now, this is all for motorized boats only. So if you have a canoe, a paddle boat, a kayak, or whatever, you certainly will need to also get those same numbers, but you're not going to get a 22, a 23, a 24, or whatever. The reason we're having that identification is if for some reason they float away or whatever, someone finds one somewhere, that identification number can easily be tracked back to whoever owns that particular vessel. So the next thing will be the UTVs and the golf carts. They'll do the same thing. You'll get your 1074 in my example. Is everything working there, guys? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. You'll get the 1074 in my example, and you'll put it on the driver's side somewhere where it can be displayed. But those numbers or letters will only be 1.5 inches tall rather than 3 inches. 3 inches is certainly too tall for a smaller item like that. So I want to let you know the same thing there. So when you come in to get your show proof of insurance, then we'll be able to issue, am I right, Kathy, also a 22 for that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that'll be taken care of, and that's the way we'll have the registration. So I hope that clarified that. When the newsletter went out, we had a little bit of difference as far as we had discussed having the numbers and stuff on both sides of the boat, and it had to be in the center of the boat. We since have changed that after some thorough looking through and thinking about that. So that's kind of where we're at now with that. The internet, again, nothing there other than long-range network is out there now, and so you have a couple choices. You have Big River and you have a long-range network that you can work with. I'm not going to say anything about either one other than you do have a choice at this stage, and that's kind of where we're at with that. Website. We've had bids from people to for this website. We needed to update it. We needed to do some things with it to make it easier for everybody to use, get a little bit more information, and certainly make it more user-friendly. So we did sign a contract with Creative Edge. They're in the process now of getting it all put together. Basically, what you're going to see then is an updated website that's going to give you a lot of information on exactly what's going on out there. It also includes a real estate section where you can, if you want to sell a lot or if you're looking at buying a lot, that's all going to be there and be updated on a regular basis. They're doing a really good job of discussing how they possibly can have photos and other things with those particular lots, as well as the sale prices. The main thing is obviously if you do that and then later sell, you'll have to notify us so that we can let them know and they can take that property off. The other thing that's probably big about all this too is it's going to add a number of features, like for example, if the camping permits will all be online, so you can go to the website, you can fill out the camping permit, that information will come back to our office, and we'll be able to know that you're going to be out there, and you can print off your camping permit for that particular weekend or whatever the case might be. Things like building permits, which we have a ton of those, will also be on that site. So you can actually go there and print those off and get those back to us also. So just different items like that on the website I think are going to be really important for us, and also it'll kind of minimize some of the other paperwork and other things. Guys on the board, is there anything else on the website you remember that we were going to address?
There is going to be a place for lot owners only.
Yes, there'll also be, and Kathy, thanks for bringing it up, there's also going to be a place for just lot owners. So we'll have a password for you. It'll change on a very regular basis so others can't address that. But basically the board minutes and some of the other things that are just relevant to the lot owners will be on that particular site. So you'll be able to go to that link and go ahead and put all that stuff together. So anyway, thought I would mention that. Diane, are there any questions right now that we need to address, or do we go forward?
I want to wait to the end.
Wait till the end. Okay, we're good. Thanks, by the way, for the questions. It looks like we're getting a number of them in, so I appreciate that. Next on our agenda was the paving. Just to let you know, that was successful. Everything went through. We got pretty much everything we wanted, and I think you all can say that it turned out really well. I had another little note in here on how much we spent on paving. This year, the total amount was $413,482.48. So year to date, how much have we spent on paving, including this? $1,516,350.13. So in 18 years, we spent over $1.5 million on paving. I just thought it was worth you all knowing that and seeing what's going on. We do have that on a loan that should pay out in about 5 or 5.5 years. After that, then hopefully we can finish the rest of the paving that we're going to do out there, or whatever else we find necessary. But I think that's probably on the highest priority right now, is to get everything paved if we possibly can. Next, we're going to talk about leaf pickup. The leaves are falling big time, and so it's important that if you want your leaves to be sucked up by our vacuum system, that you get them out to the road, or actually on the edge of the pavement, and watch that you don't have rocks in there, and that you don't have a lot of limbs, because it really messes up our system. So if you would be cautious about that. I know it's a lot of extra work to pick out some limbs, and you know, you might have a couple rocks in there. I don't know where they come from, but you might find a couple rocks. But be sure to get them up on the pavement, on the edge of the pavement, so that they can go ahead and get those sucked up. Now, they come by on a regular basis, so usually in the morning, they do it early in the morning until about 10:30, and then they have other activities that they end up doing. So I thought I would let you know that if you get them done on the weekends or whatever, if you get them there, they're pretty good about coming by every day and getting those leaves picked up. All right. 2022 assessments, again, as I said, they went to $825 now. They all went out today. You'll be getting those greetings along probably with your real estate personal property taxes from the county. It looks like everything kind of hit around the same time. We have a lot of things going on right now, and we certainly have a lot of expenditures. We're not coming out with a whole lot of money other than it's been good. This year we had a lot of lot sales. This is the first year ever, I think, that we actually had a little cash in the bank. Whenever we start sending assessments out, we didn't have to go borrow any additional money. That's really a positive. But we're using that extra money. We knew we would have it. We're using that extra money to do that paving for the apron that's going to be done out there where the loading area is for the loading area for the boats. So anyway, just to let you know, we had bids out for that, and we'll be letting those bids really soon so that we can have that done by the first part of March for sure. I think that's probably all for that. Dumpsters, I never quit talking about dumpsters. Our cost to do this from Republic Services is phenomenally high. A lot of that has to do with not only the number of units that we have out there, but also some of the issues we have. We've got to get away from throwing things in there that are not supposed to be. Biggest culprit, I think, is construction material. Probably that's one of the biggest. The second biggest is appliances. It says on there no appliances, yet we get a lot of gas grills, and we get microwaves, and we get just a number of things that are pitched in there. So it's not a good situation. I think the other thing that we need to address is some folks believe that that's a spot that they can take everything from outside of the lake and throw it in there since they own a lot. That's okay to an extent, but overall that really clutters these things and they get full too fast. I have an example this year of someone cleaning out their shed somewhere and filling the dumpster just with their in that. If everybody had that particular attitude, I don't think we would get a whole lot of use out of the dumpsters and be paying quite a price for them. So, you know, be respectful of everybody else that's out there and what we've got and what we have to pay as far as the money for these dumpsters. Number 10, we're going to deal with security. What we're talking about with security is, again, we've used Mayhem Solutions. They've been really good. We're going to reach out and see if there's any other security places out there that might be interested in doing what we have. We're certainly not disappointed in what Mayhem's doing. I think the only thing the board has really discussed that needs to be done in a couple of areas is, number one, a little bit more signage or something on their vehicles, so we're sure that they are security when they come around. And the other one is we're still discussing how we're going to work a boat into the lake to do some water patrol. I think the number of people that are there, the boat sticker information that we have, some of the other issues that are out there, it's not going to hurt to have some presence out there to kind of monitor what is going on in the lake itself. And also for safety, you know, we have to make sure that we stay safe and we don't have any crazy accidents out there. Last item that I want to discuss tonight before the questions is licensing. And we went through the restrictions to try to determine, you know, kind of a review of some of the things that are going on and whether or not we're complying with items. We noticed that under licensing that there's some specifics there that we haven't really watched really close and probably need to be doing. And basically what it says is if you've got a camper, a trailer, a boat, a vehicle, or whatever that's a licensed item, you need to make sure that it is current when you're out there. So I think what we're going to be doing now, I know what we're going to be doing now, is part of the security job and part of our job is going to be monitoring who's out there with these particular units and whether or not they have a current license on them. understand that if they don't, they are not in compliance, and therefore there are some ramifications to that. So basically what we want you to know is that was a long explanation that went in the newsletter, but to summarize it, it's basically if you've got something like that on your lot, it needs to be currently licensed. So having said that, board members, do you have anything else to discuss? I kind of went through those 10 items or 11 items very fast. But was there anything else that you recall that maybe we wanted to discuss with everybody before we proceed?
Nothing that I can think of.
Big expense on the, coming up is the fixing of the pool. We're still involved in trying to determine exactly what it's gonna cost to get that pool fixed. Again, as I said in the newsletter, it's nearly 50 years old or more, and it needs a lot of work. And so, probably the lowest bid we got on it was $120,000 or whatever to fix it. So, we need to be looking at that and seeing how we can take care of that also. The idea of a different facility for the restaurant or community center or whatever you want to call it is on hold. We just don't have the money to proceed with that at this stage. We will keep it on the agenda. We will keep working and trying to do it, but right now, with everything else going on, we don't want to strap ourselves with too much debt that we can't pay and then force the assessments to go up to a level where it's not comfortable for everybody. So, having said that, Diane, do we have we got a ton of questions, it looks like. You should be able to hear Diane. She's got a microphone there close to her. She's writing down the questions right now so that we can, because they keep flipping up on the screen, and if we don't catch them, we'll lose them, and we don't want to do that. So, Mercy, we got a bunch of them.
So, under boats, the boat dock construction, or do folks on the wait list for a covered slip have priority for a covered slip at the new marina?
I hope you heard that question, but basically there's somebody on the waiting list that has a covered dock as their preference. Do they have a priority? Again, those that are currently there that have a boat slip rented, they have number one priority on the slips. That's number one. Then we have many of them that are uncovered that say, when there's a covered one available, I want to get a covered one. That's number two on the list. And anybody that's on the waiting list after that goes by what we can fill with the 24 footers and then the rest. I hope that answers your question.
On the stickering of boats, is there a color requirement for the letters for the boats?
Is there a color requirement for the letters for the boats? The answer is no. There's no.
Just needs to be visible.
Just needs to be visible. So a lot of them when you buy them in stores are black and white, which would be kind of, universal and stuff. But, if you got a green boat and you want to have some other color, make sure that we can see it. That's the main thing.
Will you put the instructions in the next newsletter on the stickering, the new policy for stickering boats and UTVs?
We'll something in the next newsletter on the stickering on the boat. Sure, we can do that. That's not a problem.
And can we show examples on what we expect?
And show examples, we can do that too, yes.
There was a question, would it not be a good idea to put stickers on both sides?
We discussed putting stickers on both sides of the boat. We've probably come to the conclusion a lot of people don't want to add a lot of stickers and a lot of things to their boats. There's a number of other lake developments that do that, but in all honesty, most people are going to see it from the shore whenever the boats go by, because we're always going the same direction. So the only other time would be obviously if they're they're in a cove or something and you happen to be going by the other side of them. But right now the board's decided to do that. We wouldn't say that you couldn't put them on both sides. If you choose to put it on both sides, that's certainly your prerogative. There's no problem with that.
Can we add boat and ATV or UTV is what it should be, annual renewal on the website?
Yes, the annual renewal for the boat slips and, for the stickers will be part of the website. That's something else we'd be adding to that,
We
yes.
just have to get them the sticker, so we'll have to figure out how to get the sticker.
The application part.
we have to have the application come to us so that we can verify it and have the proof of insurance before we actually issue the year number sticker to you, and then you'd be in compliance.
On the paving, suggestion to pave the rest of the area over at the beach parking area.
I'm not sure about that as far as the beach parking area. That's something we have to discuss later. Right now, I don't think we really have any parking lots that are paved, right? I mean, one of the restaurants not paved, the one down Westgate's not paved.
The marina.
In Marina, we don't have anything that's actually paved, so I don't know. We have to discuss that and see whether or not that's feasible.
Is there any new movement on the new clubhouse cafe?
Yeah, I kind of alluded to that at the end. New movement on the clubhouse and cafe, not at this time. We just don't have the resources to make that happen right now. And there would be some discussion as to whether or not these boat slips were right to do. The reality is those boat slips bring us in revenue, and they'll pay for themselves in a little over 7 years. After that, we have a nice revenue stream that will be continuing to go in. So that's the reason that we chose that. Plus, our waiting list was fairly long to do that. So that's why we did the boat slips.
Years ago, voted on lowering the lake every other year. Why are we not doing that?
Why are we not lowering it every other? Because we've got a lot of people, a lot of new people that are wanting to build new slips and to actually renovate or do something on the other older ones. It's important to have the lake down so that you can do that. And also we've noticed by lowering it that we have a lot less weeds, and that's controlling that. If you've noticed, the lake has been pretty clean now for the last few years. So that's part of the reason. We're just trying to deal with it that way and thinking that this is working. If it doesn't, we'll go back and readdress it.
How much are we spending on on-site security each year?
How much are we spending on on-site security? Hold on a second. I'm going to take a second to look at the financials here and see what our number is for that. It wasn't too bad this year. Security was $7,540, and we had budgeted $17,000. So there's your number. That it?
That's all the questions so far.
Very good. Well, thank you all for visiting. It went pretty quick. Half hour, we're done. So if you like this, let us know. If you don't like it, let us know. If you want to continue to do this in the future, that's fine. It's totally up to you all what you want. This is a way we feel like that we can at least reach you, and kind of let you know exactly what's going on and where we stand. So having said that, you guys have anything else that you need to let us know?
No, we're good.
I'm trying to look at some of the other items on our regular meeting, whether there was something there that probably needed to be stated, but I don't think that we're missing anything at all. So, another question?
What have we learned from the on-site security?
What did we learn from on-site security? Basically, what we learned is, excuse me, they have a lot of control and a lot of authority. They have a lot of background on what it takes to be cordial to people, show respect, and be able to monitor what's going on and get back to us on all the violations that they have. They write it up, they give it back to us. We have some way to at least see what's going on a regular basis. Anything else in security?
They also made a lot of suggestions on like the stickering of the golf carts and UTVs to make them more visible, the boats. A lot of suggestions on water patrol, those kinds of items.
Perfect. Is there anything else up there, guys?
She said, great job. Very informative.
Very good. Thank you so much. One other thing there, is that anything?
Oh, Big River, sorry. Was there any update from Big River on improvements?
I haven't heard anything at all from Big River. I did understand from somebody that they've got some sort of something going on. I don't know if it's a government thing, if they're getting approved or whatever, to try to make it a little bit better out there. I haven't heard what that means or exactly what that is. So I want to inquire with Big River just to see what they have to say. Other question?
How many violations of the security folks reported?
How many violations do they report? Each time they're out there, they're probably
25.
20, 25. I would say that's pretty close to what they actually come up with, yeah.
How is the other internet working?
How's the other internet? I don't have personal, anything on that. I don't know. Maybe some of you all that have, would be able to tell me. I really don't have any personal experience with what they've done at this point. Anybody else on the board? Anything?
Don't
No,
have.
nothing at this point. We're gonna give it just a couple minutes to see if anyone, another question.
Concrete at the dam, covered that, but.
Yeah, we covered that. We're gonna be doing that. Like I said, it has to be done before March 1st, before we start putting votes in. Another question. Okay. Very good. Anything else? If not, if I don't see another question in another 30 seconds, we're gonna say goodnight. All right, having seen this and having done it again, we appreciate you spending some time with us. Of course, it was quick, but good night, and we will see you at another time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.